Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hat pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I...
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Casual Sim Racers League. As we have shut down the streets out here in California, it's time to go racing. We are at the Long Beach Street Circuit, and this will be an interesting one. Street circuits can be fun. There's certainly a lot of 90-degree turns. There's some passing opportunities, certainly into turn number one, passing opportunity. Technically into the hairpin, there's passing opportunity, but good luck getting through there too wide, especially if you're going to send it down to the inside. You got to try and figure out a way how to get out of that corner if that car is not rotating. But you know, some opportunities here. You got to make sure you're setting up that pass by getting a better exit out of the corner compared to your competitors, but we'll see what they can do here in 45 minutes. Good size field out here once again. Looks like just shy of 50 Cars getting ready to take the green flag here tonight. Carlheim, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we hit the streets here tonight. Don't forget the fountain.
A few times before you can get that thing around, and all by the way, there's a lot of traffic, so yeah, going to be interesting, and maybe instant toes to the pits for some of those drivers that even just maybe getting stuck, so let alone depending on the amount of damage they have. So we'll see how they play here tonight. Looking forward to it. It's not a place we come to very often, so I guess nice change of scenery.
Before we get to it here tonight, I want to thank our sponsors here in the series, the Sim Gaming Expo, Ace Motorsports. They sponsor the Pole Awards, 40 Racewear, Digital Sim Sports sponsoring. I believe they're sponsoring the Clean Driver Award again for the season. Martin PC and Chandelure Leather, as the drivers are just about finishing up with qualifying. About a minute left plus some stoppage time. As you see that the fountain there. Dolphin's certainly happy. It's a bright, sunny day out there. It's finally getting some nice weather up in my neck of the woods. Some weather you can get out there and actually get a little sweat on for once. And run through the house last night and get the vents open for the AC because the kids weren't wanting to sleep last night because it was just a little bit too toasty in the house. But that's a good thing. I'm tired of the winter. I'm ready for some nice weather again and ready to get outside. And once again, I'm looking forward to that first lawn mow of the season because. Jimmy, I'm sure you know as much as I do. Well, I don't know as much because you got the sandy grass down there. But once you mow it the first time, you're in for it the entire season.
Carl, I've already mowed my lawn like 5 times already this year. I've been wearing shorts since January. Yeah. Matter of fact, I look in my clothes, and sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if they fit. You go up a weight, down a weight, up a weight, down a weight. I don't even remember what size pants I bought. I wear shorts so often, especially athletic shorts are comfy.
Yes, just throw them on. It's perfect.
and just go. I'm not a very sophisticated person, very laid back here, and hopefully we get a laid back race here tonight. Looks like they are done qualifying and ready to kind of get out there. Obviously broken up into the LMP2 and GT3 fields here tonight. Your pole sitter overall, and going to be a very interesting race as they're battling for points to take advantage of Bryce as he's leading the points here. But Dace Keeling and Craig Jancic on the front row should be an interesting turn one for sure. Savannah Madrigal back up there in third with Devon Young in fourth. Herbert Pineda and Bryce Reiner on row number 3. Row number 4, Marco Chacon and Jack Oldenburg, Braxton Jarrett, Bevan McCombs, Trent Blaylock, Christopher Reagan, Jim Dutton back in 13th. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Anthony Hutchison in 14th. Excuse me.
Pleasure.
Back in 15th, Jim Herrick with Glenn Lazon in 16th, Paul Smith, Michael Brolowski, Avery Pedley, Paul Bailey, Bill Burrell, Renato Dilemma, Brandon Potts, and Jordan Fox for your LMP2s. That's 25 cars. The rest of the field all the way back to 50, as we did break the 50 mark here tonight. Noah Bourgeois on a tear here. Last week he was, at least, and just trying to start this week off as well. Starting on the pole for the GT3s. Tyler Torville on the outside, and Christopher Hamilton up there in P number 3 with Alex Zark, Kyle Kobler, Javi Sierra, Christian Ortiz Torres, Jason Phillips, Michael Schwartz, and Stephen McLean for your top 10 in the GT3s. Then you have James Smith, Michael Antania, Ryan Luna, Cesar Colon Torres, Stephen Latrelli, Jay Little, Logan Brame, Zach Larson, Cole Spalding, John Newman, John Espada, Dave Tilford back at 22nd, Ian Southern, Cameron Burke, Stefan Price, and Todd Torville for your 50-car field here. And it should be an interesting 45 minutes for sure. You know, looking about the fuel and when they're going to pit, and should I pit early? Should I pit late? You know, trying to look for that gap where you could get those goods running off. But the LMP2s are away as the GT3s wait their turn to kind of give a little bit of a gap here, especially here at these street circuits. I know that the league kind of has their zones where they would like people to start to kind of, you know, make things a little easier. But what they got to watch here is, you know, those GT3s, if they're too far behind, they'll end up starting in that dang old hairpin. It's really hard to get out of there anyways. So a little too wide, even at a slow pace. So I'm going to be interested in watching that for sure. I think I'm going to break free from Carl's cameras and definitely watch what's going on with them GT3s.
Well, I think what they do, Jimmy, is they have the other LMP2 start on the green flag, which is already out of the hairpin, and then the GT3s don't start on the green. They wait until they're I'm sure out of the hairpin, and they kind of have their own start, basically at the same spot where the LMP2s start, but not until they get there. But we are doubled up. We're ready to go here. Green flag is out. We are racing on the streets in Long Beach.
Hairpin still not going, as Carl's, I'm sure, giving great coverage of the LMP2s as they head down to turn 1. The GT3s are braking around the hairpin.
They're stopping. Some of them. Some are completely stopped there in the back, trying to wait to get around there. They up on board, and
now there we go.
Green flag is out here for Noah Bourgeois as he's going to lead them down there in the Lamborghini here tonight, as we got 2 Lambos right there at the front with Noah Bourgeois, Tyler Torville, even Alex Zart in 4th place, as we watch GT3s head off now into turn 1 for the first time. And see some smoke there, as some issues for the LMP2s getting through the fountain area for the first time, but see the leaders here, the GT3s, making it through cleanly for their first run through. But it's certainly quite a bit of crashes and cautions on the first lap here, but I'm not sure how much of that is actually damage and how much it was those GT3s having to come to a complete stop to make their way through the hairpin the first time. Because, I mean, that hairpin, if you're by yourself, if you're single file, it can be extremely hard to try and get the right angle. I mean, you really have to kind of swing it wide to get a good run through and out of the hairpin. Problem is, if you're battling with somebody and they decide to set up the inside, all of a sudden now that inside line is taken away from you, and you may have to yield that position more than you really want to.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test of patience and guts to make some of these moves, and you know, you got to be patient, following people through real tight areas where you really can't go too wide. You know, you got to get them cars out of a certain area to, you know, get them to rotate. And you know, if you're out front in clean air or clean area, you'll be able to do that. It's being in the middle of the pack that is pretty challenging, but already a few people in the pit lanes for the LMP2s. Brolowski, Bailey, and Fox. I see Brolowski with a meatball, Bailey with a black flag, and Fox out there. I did see Burke. He's coming in the pits now. He had an incident where he wrecked the back of his car. So
take a look and see exactly right there what happened with Brolowski. Just way too late on the brakes into turn number 1 and ripped off the front end of that car. So that is exactly why there was a meatball flag for the 369.
Yeah, I mean, there's cold tires, you know, it plays a lot. And the braking in the LMP2s, you know, if you're too hard on them, because they don't have ABS, so, you know, it's really a different machine, obviously, and you got to be soft but firm, I guess, with the LMP2s with their braking, especially under cold tire situations. It shouldn't take them too long to get the tires ripped or heated up, though, with all the turns they got here tonight. Does look like Dace Keeling is out front right now over Craig Jancic, as the LMP2 field is getting around here pretty decent clip. So everybody's starting to kind of spread out, and obviously everybody seems to look to be too wide. Or yeah, too wide, I wish. As a single file around here around the streets.
Yeah, it's one thing that's tough about covering the street races is you kind of you peek in here and there, you try and see where the battles are, at least where they're close to each other, but you really don't know unless you're watching the battle if there's a pass that's going to be sent, because it's usually a late move into a braking area, and you have to try and predict and see where the battles are close, and maybe you can see if a faster driver has fallen their way back through the field for whatever reason, to try and peek in on that and see what the what the situation is and see if they're gonna go and make a pass. But we just gotta pick and choose and hope we show you some good coverage out there. But before we get too far into the race, just want to give a rundown of the point standings as they stand coming into tonight. Bryce Reiner leads the LMP2 Pro class technically by 14 points, as Dace Keeling still in there as a rookie. But the way he's running the first few races, I think it's just a matter of time before he graduates out into the pro class. So right now there'll be a 14-point difference heading into tonight. Third place would be Craig Jancic, and then Christopher Reagan and Trent Blaylock for your top 5 in the pro class. In the AM class, we're looking at Jim Herrick leading the way right now, Anthony Hutchinson, Stephen Barusa, Brandon Potts, and Paul Bailey for your top 5, with Jim Herrick having a 66-point lead heading into tonight. In the GT3 Pro class, just took a couple races till Noah Bourgeois found his way back to the top of the points. He leads by 5 points over Tyler Torville, Kyle Kobler, Ricky Renner, and Frank Pisano for your top 5 in the Pro. And then in the AM, you got Cesar Colon Torres leading by 3 points over Christian Ortiz Torres, Ian Wilson, Jay Little, and Ian Southern for your top 5. Right now here tonight, leading the way and maybe looking to get a win before he gets bumped out of rookie and into what most likely will be pro. Dace Keeling is leading the race right now by 1.4 seconds. Craig Jancic right behind him, already flashing, letting those GT3 lap cars know he's on his way up through the field. Bryce Reiner is not the one following him this time. Right now it is Devin Young having a good start to the race. He is up there in 3rd. Bryce Reiner started in 6th. He's up to 4th right now, so good start for him. Siviani Madrigal looks like he may have had some issues. We'll take a look as he started up towards the front of this field. And this is heading into the hairpin. You see that car just not wanting to turn at all. So I think he might have had an issue before that. We'll take a look back a little bit further. And no, that's not enough right there, because I was still heading in there trying to see where he might have had issues, because he did start up a little further in the field, maybe just bumped into another car on the way through, but he ended up, you see him braking right there, trying to work his way into pit lane, ended up just getting across in front of the 8 there and took it into pit lane. So he's down quite a few positions right now. In the AM class here for the LMP2s right now, it is Braxton Jarrett leading the way by 1.7 seconds over Anthony Hutchinson. He's got a couple of cars in between him right now. And then Avery Pedley for your top 3. In the GT3 class, you're looking at Noah Bourgeois already 2.1 seconds ahead as the car sideways there. Looks like Michael Berlasky is the one sideways, looking for a way to just get turned back around. Noah Bourgeois, again, 2.1 second lead over Tyler Torville. Chris Hamilton for your top 3. In the AM class, Christian Ortiz Torres, as you see, a traffic jam at the hairpin. It's the first one that we've seen other than before the race. I don't think it's going to be the last, though, Jimmy. That is a place that is, again, it's so tough to get through. Now you got multiple different classes out here. It's just, it's, you know, we talk about some tracks where you want to know where the best seat is. Sure, the fountain right here, it's a picturesque spot, but if you want to see where the racing is, where the chaos can be, the hairpin.
Yeah, hairpin is one of those ones. It's it's not very many tracks have a corner that's that tight, and it's, you have to swing out. It leaves the inside open, but it's really, sometimes you wonder if the car could even turn that tight because it's so sharp, and you really do have to. You can't carry extra speed in there. So when somebody tries to dive down to the inside, they can wreck, and they can really hold up can get a pile up right there. But we haven't seen any pile ups yet. I see Logan Brame crashed a little bit ago, but that could just been a bump. But he's back there in the GT3. He's back in P number 29. It does look like he's going, so maybe just a good checkup there for Logan, number 43.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get an idea of how tight the hairpin is. It's pretty much, you're going down a 2-lane highway, maybe it's a 3-lane highway where you get one passing zone on one side of the road, and then just go ahead and make a U-turn while you're driving. That's pretty much what these drivers have to deal with, getting through the hairpin right there, and it's so tough to try and get in there. So you think about going too wide. Okay, now you have a car beside you. Now both of you make a U-turn at the same time. It's damn near impossible. But some of these drivers will certainly try that. We'll attempt that to try and make some passes here tonight. But the other big thing is you see like some of the curbs right there. You see some of these corners, you can cut a little bit, and that's where a lot of time can be gained or lost if you have a little track knowledge here of where you can, cut the track, where the car is okay going over the curbs, like you see right there, going over the curbs. You certainly want to keep it off the tire barriers and the walls at all times, which at some points, can feel like a bit of a cattle chute going through here. Long Beach, maybe not as bad as some street circuits, but it still can feel very constricting, especially when you're in the midst of a battle with someone. But right now, looks like everything may be settling down a little bit as we hop on board here with Siviani Madrigal and jumping all through the field here, seeing all the different battles from on board these LMP2s. It can be scary, whether you're in the LMP2 with speed, whether you're in the GT3s trying to figure out where do you want me to go, what do you want me to do.
Yeah, I mean, and you'll see some LMP2s, in the midst of the GT3s, and trying to, go to the inside, at least get alongside and make the GT3 uncomfortable, because really kind of out of the corner, they've got pretty much the same acceleration. So they're like, I think I've said it before, where the LMPs really excels at some of their braking, obviously the higher downforce, but their takeoff isn't like huge, so you have to get up into that 5th and 6th gear to really start like top ending out, and you're probably pushing harder than you think you ever would here, and you're probably seeing it now, depending on where Carl's at. The LMP2s are trying to get around where they can get by a little bit farther, but what a incident there with the 88 going around as they tried to make by the 43.
Action all over the place right now. I'm trying to see what happened to one of our drivers that was running up at the front early on. This is Devin Young in the 15. He was running up there in 3rd at the time, and right there, a little bit too hot into the corner. Not sure if he got some help there by the 97, but you see both Jancic and Reiner turned around, or not Reiner, Young turned around. Young ended up towing back to the pits, and I believe, Jancic has since been in the pits as well. So 2 of your top 3 get some hurt early on in this race, so it's going to give a nice advantage. 5 seconds now, Dace Keeling in front of Bryce Reiner, and then another 8 seconds back to Herbert Pineda. So as cluttered as that track map looks right now, it's not cluttered at the top of the LMP2 standings, as it's a pretty sizable lead right now in between your top 3. And then you get back to your battle for 3rd and 4th between Herbert Pineda and Marco Chacon It is one of the tightest battles here on the track as they're working their way through the field. You see them battling and making their way around the 444 of Ian Southern in the GT3 class. But yeah, I know we shut down the streets here in Long Beach, but it's still heavy traffic. It's rush hour here tonight.
Yeah, rush hour, rush 45 minutes. Everybody trying to pull out the stops and trying to use anything they've ever learned on any road course within the confines of the concrete barriers here on the streets. And the drivers, I know, some might feel faster in some areas, and then maybe slower in others. So never getting a true run away from their competitor or being able to get alongside them. And it's until they decide to, take the opportunity or chance to kind of get around or use traffic. So to kind of put some little bit of separation in between them. And seeing the LMPs are still working their way through the field. Obviously, is still back here with the 83, just got around the 43. So 83 being an LMP2 to the likes Jim Dutt.
This isn't the only street circuit on the schedule as well. These drivers in round 10 will be heading to Belle Isle, Detroit, for another street circuit race. The penultimate round will be at Detroit before they have the 2-hour season finale at Road America. So maybe a little precursor to what we'll see for the second last race of the season. And by that time, we'll have a better, clearer picture of who's battling for those points championships as well. But next week we'll be heading to a track, not the streets. We'll be heading to Imola, and then back to the States for Laguna Seca. Then we'll have another race where rain may come into play, and I feel like rain comes into play quite a bit there, Spa, in round number 7. I don't know what it is, Jimmy, and I don't know if it's, that they chose, hey, we can have rain at this race, but it seems like more often than not, Spa gets rain. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think we visited a hurricane a couple of years ago.
Yes.
In the rain in the Corvette, and that was interesting to say the least, and especially going after you get by a start-finish line and go up the hill. So just definitely it was a challenging race, and just like here where you have to be careful. I could only imagine here in the rain. It could get ugly. But
I'm happy those leaves right there in the trees don't actually fall down on the track. I mean, that right there could feel like rain.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to. You're trying to trust the car to stick and not hit, not get into the wall, and trust yourself not get too much throttle and pull the rear end around. So, but a nice little move there by 43 again around the 18. So 43 on their way forward there. It's the likes of Logan Brain in 18th position for the GT3s. So getting by a few cars here, but the LMP2s are starting to kind of come up through the field here, as I've seen most of them kind of come through this pack. So yeah, but everybody doing pretty good as far as movement for drivers. Bryce Reiner up 4 spots with some of the leaders having mistakes early on. Christopher Reagan's up 5 for the LMP2s, along with Anthony Hutchinson. Avery Pedley up 6 spots, actually, in 13th spot for the LMP2s. And even in a dilemma back there in 15th. So a lot of big movers kind of throughout the LMP2 field. And then for your leaders for the GT3s, they're pretty much the same. Noah Bourgeois, Tyler Tourville, Chris Hamilton, Alan Sart for your top 4, and even Kyle Kobler. Your top 5 remain the same from the start. Christian Ortiz-Torres picking up a spot with Michael Schwartz, Stephen McLean, Michael Antenia. Cesar Colon-Torres has made up 4 spots. But big mover in the GT3s, Dave Tilford up 8 spots in P34 overall, P14 in the GT3s, along with the likes of Ian Southern back in 15th position for the GT3s and the 444.
As much as I'm not a fan of racing on the street circuits, I think just the fact that we're here at a race, we know there's not going to be cautions, is a breath of fresh air. We've had a bit of a rough spot lately on CRN as the past week and a half. on the oval side has just been a barrage of yellows, and it doesn't matter what league. It just seems like, I don't know if it's just that time of the year, time of the month for some of these drivers. I don't know what it is, but either way, it's been quite a bit of a caution fest. So it's nice to finally get out here and know that we got a 45-minute race. It's going to go 45 minutes. There's not going to be overtime. There's not going to be extra laps. There's not going to be cautions. It's just going to be a good race out there. Not that it's going to be incidents. We've seen plenty of incidents here tonight, but we don't have to worry about slowing these cars up. They're going to go full throttle the entire way on this track. And hopefully later tonight, we're going to see a little bit of the same, because we got the last race of the round of 8 for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series, as they're going to be heading to the Kansas Speedway to see who is going to move on to the championship round, who is going to be the championship for PRSLR, and head to Homestead with a chance at that championship. 75 laps here tonight, coming up right after this race here at Long Beach. But we got plenty of racing yet to go here. A little under 30 minutes left to go. We'll still see some pit stops for pretty much the entire field. We had some drivers come in already, no doubt. Some of them coming in to get some repairs done, trying to bounce around here and look and see where there's some battles, whether it's in division, in class, or maybe just an LMP2 and a GT3 doing battles here and there. We'll try and bounce around and get some looks out there. If you got a favorite driver, be afraid to put them in the chat and let us know who you're looking at to get a good run here tonight. As I see Barry's out there looking to root on Christopher Hamilton, as he is up in 3rd place right now in the GT3 Pro class, making his way around the lap car of Stephen Latriel. But right now, we are coming up on 20 minutes into the race. Dace Keeling just put in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:16.07. Bryce Reiner in 2nd puts in his fastest lap of the race as well, that last lap by. So the wick being turned up here a little bit, maybe getting close to some pit stops here coming up.
Yeah, I would imagine some pit stops, somewhere soon. We're coming towards that halfway mark, Carl, but if somebody's in a good spot and they're making their way through the field, obviously we know the cars run a little faster when they're lighter. Unless you have one of those handy dandy overlays that kind of gives you an estimate where you'll come out, is always helpful. I know there's a few out there that do that, and it can be used to your advantage, depending on where you would come out. It's a big change, being able to get a few laps in and not being stuck behind some GT3s, or are you going to get or coming out with a full pack of cars, whether it's GT3s or LMP2s. So it's just something that I know some drivers might use. I have it kind of handy. Not real big. I don't use it very often, but except during the endurance events, because you can at least see what kind of traffic you're going to come out for. You got to pit anyways because you're out of fuel and you got to get tires, but just kind of seeing where you're being. I don't think we're always trying to save fuel and get an extra lap. Well, it was coming in just a little bit early for clean air, but it can be used that way, and it could come in handy for these drivers here at CSRL. But we are now 21 minutes into this race here. Dace Keeling is your leader for the GT3s. LMP2s, and GT3s. Noah Bourgeois is sitting 17th overall with a nice comfy lead over Tyler Torville. So, Noah doing his thing. This is his environment with all these tricky corners and being able to get around here. And obviously with the traffic, it makes things a lot more interesting. And you could be taken out at any time, as it does look like Tyler Torville is in the pit.
Well, Jimmy, you mentioned endurance racing. It's really the only time that we get a chance to get out of the booth and kick out our feet and get them back on the pedals. We got an endurance race coming up in just a week or two here, and it's one that is arguably the toughest one of the season. It is one that has been our bugaboo for the longest time. Is one that we kind of have our eye on every season. We want to finish, not even worried about a good finish. If we somehow get a top 5, top 10, great. But we're just looking to finally get a good race. And without even saying the actual name of the track, you can just get everything you need to know by the nickname of the track, and that is 24 Hours at Green Hell.
Yeah, that is it is the one heck of a place. You either hate it, love it, or tolerate it. And tolerating it for 24 hours is not something that many people do. I mean, there's a lot of us that do it. Personally, myself, I love it. At first, it was because it was long. You know, you're out there one lap, 177 turns to master and try to get the best time possible. You can make up a lot of time, but typically right around 8 minutes or so, maybe a little over 8. I think last time I was out there, I was running just under 8:20s or so. So, you know, but you got to survive the track. Another one of those tracks where, kind of like street racing, there's some really tight areas where you can go too wide, but you might not want to. Especially through some of those hairpin soup bowls, whatever you want to call them turns there where you actually go down in this big groove and some high banking. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge. It's coming up here in just a few weeks. I'm sure a lot of these drivers are looking forward to that themselves that are out here, and a lot of them, you know, that you see maybe running the same paint schemes or team names up on the stream there. You know, maybe they'll be running together. So far it does look like me and Carl have about a team of 5, and at least I know 4 for sure. The 5th one is kind of up in the air. Hopefully he's able to join us. And I always thought it would be. It's always good to have 6.
Yeah.
And then everybody
for
gets
any
a chance
24-hour race, but especially at of course the track we're talking about, the Nürburgring in Germany. And I mean, you don't get an understanding for the sheer immenseness of it. It's not a track like, you know, you get like Long Beach here or Spa, or one that you kind of you get around it once or twice, and okay, you know the layout, then you just got to try and figure out how to be fast there. Long Beach here tonight, 1.96 miles. So we'll round it up. We'll call it 2 miles. The Nürburgring 24-hour circuit, 16.12 miles. It's a road trip for one lap. And you want to talk about trying to understand the track. It takes some people, you know, a month to really get a full understanding of the track. It takes, you know, a long time to figure out how to get around the track. Forget about trying to be fast. You just need to learn the track for the first time. If you've never getting out there at the Nürburgring, it is an absolute beast, and it's the 24-hour track incorporates the GP circuit, and we've been to the Nürburgring GP circuit, and it's a normal GP circuit. There's, you know, it's what you would expect from a GP circuit, but then you get out into what's essentially country roads, going all the way through through Green Hell. It's a reason it's called the Green Hell. It is a long, treacherous track where there's a lot of spots like Jimmy's mentioning, where it's like a street circuit. It's like cattle chutes where there's walls on both sides. You make one little mistake at very, very high speeds, and you're done for. The car is totally destroyed. And that's if you make a mistake by yourself. If somebody else makes a mistake, especially at night, you may not know it until you're 130, 140 miles an hour coming through a corner and there's a car sideways. And again, your night's done. So it is
sideways,
one where
you lose your
just got to survive, man.
Yeah, it's a challenging track for sure. But we're over that 20 minutes now. Still Dace Keeling out front, and Noah Bourgeois up in 13th overall now. So you can see the difference here with obviously you get somebody like Noah that's kind of in his element, having a pretty good race here actually, working his way up through the LMP2s.
We just seen an incident there coming out of the hairpin with Craig Jancic and Jim Herrick. Jim Herrick was doing well, but unfortunately that spin, it took him forever to get turned back around. I believe he's finally turned back around now. No, still working to get back around, so lost a ton of time here. And we'll take a look back here and show you the incident as again, this is a situation here where Herrick was maybe just slowing up a little bit for the GT3s and coming out of the corner, Jansen gets on the throttle a little bit quicker than maybe the number 40 was ready for, and you see there's nowhere to turn around here. I mean, with these fixed setups, you can't just turn the traction control off, crank on the throttle, and spin that thing back around, especially when you got all these other cars coming at you. You see it's just a waiting game, and it took forever for him to just get to the other runoff area to turn that car around. It's a shame because you see all these positions, all these cars you were ahead of possibly the entire race. Now you are behind them by a good amount, because you see he couldn't even just turn around right there. He had to back it up and get back going. It is just heartbreaking when you see all that happen, but it's what can happen, especially here in Long Beach. Tight circuit, especially the tightest part of the circuit right there in the hairpin. But we are coming up on 30 minutes into this race already. We're going to go ahead and take a listen to these drivers now as they head around here and turn over to a little Love to Hear It.
Love to hear it. You're back.
Sights and sounds here of the Casual Sim Racers League as they run around the streets here of Long Beach. You've seen an incident from your GT3 leader at the time, Noah Bourgeois. He is not your leader anymore, and to the likes now of Barry out there, the few people out there of our 14 drivers, or 14 viewers, commenting, and said he was rooting for Chris Hamilton. Well, Chris Hamilton is your leader now in the GT3 class, and they're doing a great job right now as he leads over Alex Zark by 3.3 seconds, so not a massive lead by any means. But Noah Bourgeois ended up having to tow it back to the pits, as you seen it right there, just could not get turned back around and towed it into pit lane. The leader overall, Dave Keeling, into pit lane to make his one and only pit stop. Bryce Reiner now going to join him in the pits. Herbert Pineda, Jim Dutton, and Glenn Lazan yet to make their pit stops. We'll see if they come in this time by, as Pineda has been a pretty good job here so far tonight, up in third. Biggest mover of the race in the LMP2s right now is Brandon Potts, as he is up 12 spots trying to navigate through the fountain area. Another spot where you can't go too wide and ends up getting together with, I believe that was Trent Blaylock, and ends up getting put into the wall. Now Bevan McComb's going to go around the outside. Hopefully, now it looks like Brandon Potts going to have a meatball. Showed him on the screen too early. So now your biggest mover until he comes into the pits. Now Glenn Lazan was up 11 spots. But biggest mover overall, up 20 spots right now. Dave Toford in the Mercedes number 12, as he is up to 25th position, actually up 21 spots now overall. So great move through the field. Not sure if he just couldn't get a qualifying lap in or what the case was, but uncharacteristic to see that number 12 start that far back in the field. But your class leaders, not even going to get into it right now because they're still kind of in the midst of all of the pit stops. Once they all cycle through, we'll go through. But you see right now, these Keeling should end up taking back over the lead. Herbert Pineda and Renan Dilemma, the only two out there that have yet to come into the pits. Now Dilemma does come into the pits, so Pineda, I would assume, making a right-hand turn as he does right there in the pit lane. And Dave Keeling coming in through the final corner here with the number 6. He'll take back over the lead here overall. Bryce Reiner in second, Craig Jansen in third, Marco Chacon possibly in fourth, depending on when Herbert Pineda comes out of the pits. That's for the LMP2 class. In the GT3s, it is Chris Hamilton by 3.25 seconds over Tyler Torville, who just gets past Alex Zart as they are doing some battling right here on the track. Kyle Kobler in fourth, and then Michael Antania in fifth place. Jimmy, so far, so good. We're coming down to the end of this thing, about 8 minutes left in this race. It's still all about survival, though. You still got to just work your way, click off these laps, get through, get to the end of this thing.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding around when I said that you had to survive tonight, and see some big time drivers out there, making mistakes, tonight, whether they're in a little bit of a hurry or getting, on somebody's bumper, or just getting caught up in a situation and nowhere to go. It can happen that fast, and it can take out the best of them. And I know when I watch a lot of streamers throughout the day when I'm working as pretty much background noise, but you get to see some of the races that some of these top split drivers would run, and they run pretty much as in starting order for the majority of the race, and it's pretty much like they're waiting for somebody to make a mistake or leave that door open just enough to kind of get their nose in there, and then they race. They go side by side, corner for corner, and sometimes they'll make the pass and sometimes they won't. And it's really kind of amazing when you get some drivers running like that, and and they've been doing that pretty much here tonight. Just kind of trying to get around, and most of the instances that we've seen is self-inflicted, obviously. So but that's the experience you get when you start knowing the tracks a little bit better, and being able to get around here at a good clip, and setting a good pace, and you try to catch up. You want to get by, and you just watching that driver in front of you, waiting for that opportunity. And sometimes it is, if an LMP2 gets by you, and you see an incident there at the fountain. So it's, it's just waiting for that mistake, and being able to execute a safe pass, and that won't take more people out. So, but it could be at the expense of another driver, and that's what a lot of drivers are trying to do. And I'm sure there'll be some exchange of words like, well, what were you doing? Why didn't you wait? We've been in these races before, not necessarily at street tracks, but just road courses in general with the multi-class, and we know how it is with the faster car wanting to get around, and they'll pull up down to your inside, and then they force you to drive that suboptimal line. And one thing I like to do when I'm practicing is run the suboptimal line a lot, so I know what the car is going to be like if I'm stuck on the outside and I can't get down to the apex, or you got to brake in a different spot if you're like on the inside and you can't get to the outside to hit that apex the way you want to. So it's just all kinds of different techniques that you can do. And we talked a little bit about endurance racing and how long the Nürburgring is. iRacing has done something just recently, not real recent, but within the last 2 years, has added a feature to when you're testing by yourself, is an active reset. So you can come up to an area, say you're coming down straightaway where your top speed, and you can start your active reset, and then you get through the corner, but you're having troubles with that corner over and over again. So instead of driving 8 more minutes to come around the attempt that corner better the next time, you can hit the active reset, and it puts you at full speed coming into that corner again, and you can do that over and over and over again to practice that 1 or 2 turns without having to drive 8 minutes around the whole track. I know there was I think it's the Nürburgring. There used to be if you drove backwards or to a certain point, you could get the car to start your first lap early, instead of you have to go around the whole 8 miles for a warm-up lap, and then your first lap starts. Like, a lot of drivers will back out of the pits or to a certain point, and then hit the reset button, and the car would start back at the last spot. That if you wrecked it and you reset the car, they have points along the track that they'll place your car, so you don't have to start the whole thing over. But if you did it this way, you could start a fresh lap right from the get-go. So basically cutting off 8 minutes for about 30 seconds of cheese during your practices. But yeah, there are plenty of options for these drivers to get around and practice. But tonight, tight walls, tight corners, wanting to get around here, getting a good finish. Bryce Reiner now out front, though, it looks like. So new leader and points leader back in front, as I don't know quite what happened to Dace Keeling.
Yeah, but trying to look back through and see what happened to Dace before I jumped over and even mentioned that. But you see right there, this is the battle for the overall win, as right now Bryce Reiner in the lead. He is your points leader, and that is technically second in the points. He's leading the rookie point standings right now. Dace Keeling in second. Craig Jancic
looks like he went
in third.
Yeah, I think Dace went around.
Yep. Might have found him right here, potentially.
Bryce Reiner passed Dace Keeling for P1 at 43.55.
Oh, got a little help from the GT3, the 007, Cesar Colon Torres. And it took a little bit to get that thing turned back around. And you see right there is Reiner coming out of the corner, just able to make the pass. So we'll get you back live now. And we take should be the white flag, I believe. Hard to see Barney at this track, but it's 43.5 minutes. That we actually may be getting, that might be 2 laps to go here. So Bryce Reiner may have to do a little bit of work yet, going through the fountain here one more time. And should be getting the white flag this next time by, as he's got a less than a second lead over Dace Keeling. You see him right there behind, trying to get back up to the front, doing everything he can to get that back end, stepping out here, trying to run down at the 87 and try and reel in some points here. as Reiner would love to pick up the win here tonight. Craig Jancic is back another 7 seconds in third. Marco Chacon, Christopher Reagan for your top 5 in the LMP2 class. Jack Oldenburg, Trent Playlock, Jim Dutton, Bevan McCombs, and Glenn Lazan for the top 10 overall. But we're keeping an eye here on your overall leaders coming to the hairpin one more time. Got to be good through here, and I see a lot of traffic coming up for this final lap, Jimmy. This is not going to be cut and dry, as it's down to 0.69 seconds heading to what should be the white flag. As we try and take a look here on board. Already went by, so could not see anything, but the checker flag is not out, and the fact that we are down in time, this is the white flag. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
Is it a plan?
As there we go, white flag is out, and you see the traffic right there. Bryce Reiner all over the backside. He's got to find a way around. The 6 is all over the back of him right now, and right now, yeah, it is go time here for Reiner. He's going to go to look to make the move here. Keeling is going to go with him, so they're both going to pass the 42, I believe. And heading on to what I consider the backstretch here. You see Bryce Reiner trying to move over to break the toe here, and hopefully fend off Dace Keeling for a few more corners. Looks like they'll have a clear run to the hairpin. Will Keeling send one last shot down to the inside? He's going to look to go to the outside. A little bump through the corner. Not going to be enough of a drive. Bryce Reiner is going to hold off Dace Keeling and steal the win away here at Long Beach by a mere quarter of a second. Great run to the end here. Craig Jancic coming home in third place. Marco Chacon and Christopher Reagan for your top 5 down in the GT3 class, coming through the final corner here through the hairpin. Christopher Hamilton going to pick up the GT3 win here at Long Beach. 6-second lead over Tyler Torville as Hamilton comes across the line here in the Mercedes. Tyler Torville is got a 21-second lead over Kyle Kobler as he's going to come home in second place. Kobler going to come home in third. Tilford, and Tanya and McLean going to be your top 5. We'll get a chance to talk to all your division winner or your class winners here tonight, but heck of a run here, and a little bit of upsets here for both classes as we see Keeling lose the lead here to Reiner. We see Noah Bourgeois have the issue and lost the win here tonight. The streets fighting back here a little bit tonight.
Yeah, streets fighting a little bit here, nipping some of these drivers in the butt and sending them around. And this place will punish you fast. Lose a lot of time, and can't just pull out in front of traffic and ruin somebody else's race after you've made the mistake or gotten tied up. So. And that's the way that CSRL is, and they as much as they're all out here wanting to try to win, get a great finish, but when it comes down to it, when they make a mistake, they pretty much own up to it and wait their turn to get back going again and get things done. So, good finish for a lot of drivers. I think the most positions made. I'm not quite sure how they're going to handle this, but they're going to be with the G3.
Yeah, Dave Tilford up 22 spots, starting back there in 46th. He's going to finish in 24th. So we'll get a chance to talk to him here tonight. But congrats to your division winners, as Bryce Reiner is going to win at the LMP2 Pro class here tonight. Anthony Hutchinson taking home the AM class for the LMP2s. Chris Hamilton, Steve McLean for the Pro and AM and the GT3s. We'll get a chance to talk to them here in a bit. I want to thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer. Want to say that today's coverage is brought to you by Chandelure Leather, heritage quality goods handcrafted on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Every wallet, clutch, and custom piece is built with purpose, made to wear in, not out, and crafted to carry your story for years to come. From everyday essentials to small batch, limited run builds, Chandelure Leather delivers timeless craftsmanship you can feel. Find your next lifelong companion at chandelureleather.com. Want to thank 40 Racewear, Martin PC, Sim Gaming Expo, and DSS and Ace Motorsports for the sponsorship here, as well as we're going to get the top finishers in for their interviews. A great turnout here, and I believe all 50 cars got out here. So the first time they've hit 50 cars out here. Congrats to CSRL and all the admins, all the drivers out here. Great job. And of all the tracks where I would expect to see 50 drivers, I guess Long Beach is a free track, but I wouldn't expect to see them here on the streets of Long Beach. But hats off to them for sure. Fantastic showing out here. But it's time to get to some interviews. I want to see who we got out there and make sure we got everybody that we're looking for. And yep, we'll go ahead and we'll work top to bottom here tonight. And we will start with our first place finisher overall, Jimmy. It's going to be the 87 of Bryce Reiner.
Hey, Bryce, Jimmy and Carl with a Booty Cappy.
Yeah, I got you, Carl. I mean, Jimmy. I heard Carl.
The other guy.
The booth. Yeah. No, welcome back, man. Congratulations on your victory here tonight. You know, obviously, one of those tracks, street racing, and you're confined. You guys are walled in like a bunch of cattle, and obviously the battles are intense, and your opportunities are slim. You're able to basically take advantage of days getting kind of get spun around there in that one corner, and you're able to get by and able to hold on to it right there at the end. So, give us a little rundown on how it was here tonight and how traffic was here at this street course.
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks guys for broadcasting this one. This one had to be good. Secondly, this place is carnage. Whichever way you want to put it, it's going to be carnage. You put multi-class cars, GTPs, LMP2s, GT3s, or just LMPs and GTs. You put them on a road or a road course, but on a street, it depends on how it goes. Like if the racing's clean, then it's got to be a great race. But if the racing is all over the place and everything, it's called for some very fun battles for sure, and being very opportunistic, should I say. But yeah, overall, this race had everything from me having a poor quali effort to the first couple laps and then avoiding a bunch of carnage to then getting hit coming out of a corner and me spinning. I've had my own issues tonight. I just felt like, me personally, I felt like I was a little bit better going through traffic and saving a little bit of my tire too, and saving enough gas just to get across the line. But I mean, Dace had his issue, but he also had a huge lead on me for me spinning. So if it wasn't for me spinning, and him taking care of his stuff, he probably would have walked away with this. But it's racing for a reason, and I'm sitting in the catbird seat waiting for something to happen, and sure enough, it did. So I felt really good tonight, and I just got lucky there.
Yeah, a little luck goes a long way, and especially a track where you kind of need it every now and then. And I was talked about it a little bit on the broadcast, watching obviously top split during like officials during the work hours, and as background noise, and I get to see some of the people just kind of running, and they run nose to tail a lot, and they just wait for that opportunity, like you said, that catbird seat, and waiting for somebody to make a mistake. And usually at that level, there's not many mistakes made, so you're just waiting to see how each other handles traffic, like you were saying, and that's a huge part of any multi-class racing, is not only being fast, but being able to manage your traffic and get through there. Sometimes, even though you'll lose a little time, you might gain more time by waiting or picking a better place to pass instead of pushing the issue and then wrecking yourself out. But you did a great job tonight and put yourself in a spot where you need to be. Already in the points lead coming into this thing, you're just going to stretch it out just a little bit more. Obviously, your competitors are right on your tail. So it's going to make things interesting, I'm sure, for the rest of the season. But want to say congratulations for the overall win here in the LMP2 and give you some time for any shouts on your car.
Yeah, thanks, man. Reverting back to what you said with picking and choosing your battles, I mean, I could have made so many dive bombs tonight. I could have made so many dumb moves. I could have done this. I could have done that. But honestly, slow is faster, like you mentioned. So for me to kind of hang back in each corner entry, the speed difference is wild from the GT3s coming out of the corners and even going into the corners. I mean, we have them on the high speed stuff, but I mean, everywhere else, the GT3 cars just beat us. So I mean, yeah, like you said, and like I said, we got to pick and choose our battles. And I thought I picked them pretty well tonight. And having Craig in my ear is one thing, telling me, you got this, get going, come on, you could push the pedal a little bit. So just no mistakes, really. I mean, this is a new season for me. All thanks to Craig, really, for being in my corner more than anybody knows. Just me pushing myself and him pushing me. It's gotten really to the point where I found a car that I really, really like, and we'll just keep pushing forward for as many wins as we can and try to keep the points lead. But secondly, CRN, Carl, Jimmy up in the booth for broadcasting tonight. Super awesome race. Carnage everywhere for sure. Can't wait to go watch this one back. But yeah, shout out to Craig. Like I said, he's always in my corner. Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC. Unfortunately, I think Noah in the GT3 had some incident, so I feel bad for him, but he'll come back around and go whip some more next week and the following weeks. But yeah, we're gonna keep going, and thanks to all the admins. And this was a heck of a race to begin with, but I think some of us kept our composure, but there's back and forth, so it never ends really. But we'll go on to next week.
Yeah, it's always a never-ending cycle, and on to each and every week. And you guys do a fantastic job. Again, congratulations on getting this one done here tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Alrighty, sounds good, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
I have my mic on. That is our second, our top spot finisher here tonight, as Bryce Reiner takes home the overall victory and the LMP2 Pro class. The top spot here in the AM class for the LMP2s is going to go to Anthony Hutchinson and the number 2. Anthony, I mean, this track is tight by itself. You can go around here by yourself. Doesn't matter what car in here. You can be on a tricycle, and this thing is going to feel like just so tight. But just talk to me about getting through this track, surviving, getting home with the AM class win here tonight. It could not have been easy.
It was extremely hard. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think that I won. I came out of pits. Well, first off, like at the start of the race, we kind of got bunched up, and I got a little bit of sandwich action. I got hit in the rear end, which then I hit the guy in the front, caused the front end to cave in a little bit. I lost a lot of top end speed down the straightaways, so it got real rough after that. I tried to hold it together till I could go pit and get that fast repair and some fuel, and I made a mistake and took tires. I probably should have skipped on that. I came back out and the tires were just really like cold to begin with. Of course they're supposed to be, but I had 2 more mishaps. I honestly didn't think that I won this one. I honestly at one point it was like, okay, I'm just going to finish the race and hope nothing else happens.
I mean, if you want, we can pull somebody else in if you really don't want to talk to us.
Well, it's not that. I just didn't expect to be here. I'm going to be honest. It was a hard race. LMPs don't exactly have the takeoff in the turns, so passing GT3s is it's very complicated. It was clear everyone had struggles tonight, so I think everyone did the best they could with what they had. But I love Long Beach, but I'm gonna be honest, that was a tough race. A lot of cars on that track.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You guys have more speed, but it's more top end speed. It's more speed getting out of the
Exactly.
corners, and the GT3 is kind of getting into the corners a little bit better than you guys as well. So, really tough, and you're almost kind of on par, on pace with the GT3s here tonight. I mean, your top times out here tonight for the LMP2 class are in the the mid to low 116s, where the GT3s, your top times are in the 119, so you're only a couple seconds off,
Yeah.
which does not make it easy. So I can imagine it
Yeah,
wasn't
we're
great,
in,
but you
yeah, we're
you I
definitely not separated by much.
no.
But it was still a lot of fun. I had a good time. I like racing this league. It's a lot of fun. So, you take the good tracks with the bad tracks. Tonight, well, for me, I felt like it was a bad night, but obviously I did get a win, so I'm happy about it.
Well, I promise you did get the win. You do deserve to be here. So go ahead and take your time. Give any shout outs or thanks that you may have here tonight.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for, broadcasting this, making it where my family can watch it. Appreciate it. Thank you for the league admins. Appreciate everything they do and putting this on. Big shout out to my teammates, Helix and I Motorsports. Those guys, we practice all the time to try to get ready for these races. Shout out to my wife. She allows me to do this. She doesn't have to. She could definitely complain and, not cook dinner and it'd be a long night.
She can get in
And
the
then
car
shout out to my
herself.
son, who I know is watching. Yeah, she could cook dinner for herself, and I'd just be over there like,
Oh,
"Is there
no,
leftovers?"
I said
You'd
she
be
can get in the car. She can get in the car and make you cook dinner.
This is a true statement. I mean, it is open for anyone to jump on here. I definitely couldn't stop her. It'd be interesting to watch her. I'll be honest.
Well, either way,
But
yep. Go ahead. Go continue.
no, you're good. Those are my shout outs again. I just appreciate everybody and everyone who helps puts this league on.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on actually being the winner here in the AM class here tonight for the LMP2s. Take some time to celebrate this. We'll see you next week over at Imola.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you.
That is your winner in the LMP2 M class here tonight, Anthony Hutchinson in the number 2. Top spot in the GT3 class, and maybe a fan favorite from the only fan that we had talking out there tonight, Barry, Chris Hamilton in the 64, getting it done here, Jimmy.
Hey, Chris, Jimmy, and Carl, up in the booth copy.
Yeah. Feels like it's been a bit.
It's been a bit since you've been up here with CSRL, obviously, and now out there and kind of battling at a very unique track, a very tight track, a complicated track, being the slower car, and trying to stay out of trouble and be fast all at the same time. Obviously, first for foremost, we want to say congratulations on your victory here tonight, you were able to overcome many obstacles and get there. So, but give us a little rundown on how everything was, and explain your night, I guess.
Survival was more important than speed here. That was the only reason why I'm up here instead of Noah. Noah had me on speed, hand over fist. I could not keep up with him. I don't know if it's car, I don't know if it's something that he's doing, but he's insanely quick, and it's hard for me to keep up. But traffic was both the faster traffic and the slower traffic was kind of important. You needed to establish, I have this space, and I exist here, they exist there, and you had to respect that. I think some of it came down to that.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously raced together before and multi-class racing, and know the importance of giving away and taking the lines that you deserve, and trying to make it easier on each of other. How much the give and take was out there tonight, and was it something that you kind of struggled with, or is just something that everybody seemed to be pretty on par on what needed to happen?
The amount of patience that some people had was a lot less than what I had. I was super patient the whole time. I was pretty happy with third, and then I just kind of ran the tank out. Once I saw I had a 6-second lead over Tyler, and I was just about to run out of fuel, so I just kind of coasted it the last couple laps, as I knew I can manage that. And we got it. And I think I still had enough for a burnout, but I wasn't taking that chance.
Well, it's good to see conquer the track and the traffic here tonight and get yourself a victory here just a couple races into the season. So I want to say congratulations and give you some time for any challenges you might have in that car.
Huge shout out to Ryan McCauley that painted this fun Genshin Impact Merc. This season was all about going back to what was comfortable. I wasn't trying to be meta car. I wasn't trying to find every last 10th. I was like, okay, what am I good in? The Merc. Is this the Merc good here? If yes, run Merc. If no, find a different car that's comfortable. So that's my plan for this season, but thank him for the awesome paint scheme. Huge shout out to everyone here at CSRL for, I think I heard 50 people. That's a
Yes.
lot for a street course. My goodness. And thank you guys for the broadcast.
As always, appreciate the shout outs. And again, congratulations on your victory here tonight. And we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Let's be
Yes,
honest,
sir.
Chris. It's always a yes, Mark, for you. If there's any doubt, it's yes, Mark. Even if it's only an LMP2 race,
Hey, what car are we
it's
running,
yes,
Merc?
Mark. Yeah.
Merc. Love that thing.
That is your GT3 Pro Class winner here tonight, the 64 of Chris Hamilton. Top spots in the AM class is going to go to Stephen McLean in the number 85. Stephen, you bring this thing home in at a pretty good spot overall, top 25 overall, and you get yourself the AM class victory, beating both Cesar Clone Torres and Christian Ortiz Torres, your 2 points leaders in the division. So how was it out there tonight? I mean, how much were you looking ahead? How much were you looking in the mirrors? How much were you just please don't touch me?
All of the above. It was a nightmare race, but it turned out all right. I'm happy.
So you chose the what seemed to be kind of the popular car here tonight. I was kind of surprised to see quite a bit of Lamborghinis out here tonight.
Yeah, that's my car and teammate's car. Everyone else is just copycats.
Well, everybody in the M class is following you out here tonight as you get the win by a pretty decent margin. So, I mean, the streets of Long Beach, it is a different animal. It's a road course, but literally on the road. It's not, a purpose-built track here. So, what were the differences other than, just being really tight confines out here tonight?
I actually really like this track. There's only one really tricky area, which is that hairpin before the back straight. Everything else, the Lambo does really good. I like to feather the throttle, and it works out pretty good. I don't mind it too much. I think Lambo is strong, and that's why there was a couple other people using it tonight also. So.
Well, you get it done here tonight. You get the M class victory here for the GT3. So I want to say congrats from us up here in the CRM booth. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
You guys, of course, you always put on a good show. I guess you guys couldn't do it without us, though. But
one hand washes the other hand.
Yeah, and then my teammate and family who watches and supports, lets me race and everything, and teammates always practicing with me. Ace Motorsports, we always have a blast, learn from each other, and it's always a good time. So, yeah.
Well, it's definitely a good time for us up here in the booth as well, watching a lot of good battles out there and watching you guys just try and look 100 different ways at once trying to get around this track. So congrats on the M class victory. We'll see you next week at Imola.
Appreciate it. It was just all about survival for sure. But,
absolutely, buddy. That is your M class victor here tonight in the GT3s. It is the 85 of Stephen McLean. Next, we'll bring in our Hard Charger / Sandbagger Award winner, and that's going to go to the 12 of none other than David Tilford.
Hey, what's going on?
So as Jimmy is getting ready for the other race, I'll go ahead and make it easy for him and take the interview here. First off, question: was it by design you wanted to start towards the back? Did you not get a qualifying lap in? Tell me about that qualifying, because it's not like you to be starting that for in the back there.
Not by design, not ideal at this track either to start from there. As you can see by the massive, parking lot in the hairpin that I was stuck behind. But no, I just couldn't get a lap in. I just kept messing up. So every time I went out, it would spin the tires and had to reset, hit the wall in turn one. And yeah, so trying to start toward the front and ended up at the back.
Well, I mean, for any track out there, this is probably the easiest one to start from the back. So you didn't have to worry about it. Qualifying. Didn't really matter that much out here tonight.
If you want to say that, yeah, you can make up a lot of spots just by not wrecking, then yeah, that's absolutely true. But just from a racing perspective, definitely not ideal on a track that's got the walls this close to start behind a lot of cars. So Yeah, it wasn't intentional. And really, the only reason I'm gaining that many positions tonight is just trying to not hit people and not hit the walls. And I wasn't quick by any means, but I'll take it.
Well, I gotta ask, any tickets from the Long Beach police for illegal parking here tonight? Because it seemed like there was a couple times where the hairpin was a parking lot.
Yep, at least once. I didn't see actually what initially caused it, but I got there and about a third of the field was stacked up there, and not a lot you can do. So you just kind of wait and pray that no one absolutely goes bowling through the whole crowd. But yeah, avoided any major damage with that, and just made my way through, and was very vigilant, watching for people hitting walls and stuff. But other than that, I mean, it could be an exciting track to get the flow on. Definitely difficult with multi-class. I mean, especially the lower speed differential and the acceleration kind of delay on the LMP2 makes it pretty tough. So I could see how there could be a lot of problems just with LMP2s getting impatient, which I could definitely understand as well.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked to, I think it was Anthony Hutchinson about that. The fact that the LMP2s are faster, but they're only faster kind of on top end. And on a track like this, maybe down the backstretch is probably the only time where the top end really gets to eat. The rest of the track, you guys are kind of on par to the point where the fast times were only about 3 seconds difference for the entire lap.
Yeah, definitely that was the case. I mean, the front straight and the back straight into what is it, about turn 9 is about the only two places where you could get a pass on speed. Otherwise, you're waiting for a mistake or you're really forcing it. So, yeah, difficult.
Well, either way, you get yourself up quite a bit of spots here tonight. Basically, as many spots as you started back there, but moving about halfway through the field. So, congrats on a little bit of a bounce back, making it way through the field. Certainly a little bit better than we did last night, for sure. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Thanks to you in the booth. And for putting up with 2 hours of race review last night in core. I appreciate that as always, and we made it fun, so that's good. And here's to not reviewing this one, so we got that going for us.
Yes, exactly. I'd said to Jimmy, we spent about a week and a half of watching Caution Fest, unfortunately, here on the ovals. It was kind of a nice breath of fresh air to know that we're coming in here. It's a 45-minute race. There's no cautions. It's going to be 45 minutes regardless. So, and yeah, throw it on top there that we don't have to do any kind of reviews. I don't mind that at all. So, definitely take some time, enjoy the rest of the night, as it's yours to have now. But take some time, celebrate this one, and hopefully get a qualifying effort in next week at Imola.
Yes, sir. Will do. Take it easy.
You too, buddy. That is your Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight, Dave Tilford in at the number 12. We are not done with the racing yet tonight. Again, coming up next, we got the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series as they head to Kansas Speedway. 75 laps on tap. Last race of the round of 8. So we'll get to see who those 4 drivers are heading to the championship. Hopefully you're not done watching us here tonight because myself and Jimmy are going to be over there in just a few moments. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors here for the series, for everything that they do for CSRL. It's fantastic, and we say all the time, you can never have enough sponsors, and any kind of help that anybody can give out there to these racing leagues is a blessing. So thank you to everyone out there. Thank you to everyone out there tuning in tonight to CRN. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get in touch with everything that we have to offer. But for myself and Jimmy from the streets of Long Beach, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.